All right, so I've gone through and I've finished taking or been satisfied with my notes that I took. I didn't do all the notes on the background information of Iowa that I need to know, but you can see I've got quite a bit more information here. And then I did go ahead and number my items on my three things here. Let me keep fixing this up. And I came up with Johnny Carson and Herbert Hoover. Came up with a couple of more interesting places to visit in the state of Iowa. And I decided that after starting to do some research on the problems with the history of Iowa, that I changed it to why would it be a good place to live. And I came up with a few different reasons from my research of why that would be a good place to live. So now I'm ready to go ahead and write my actual report. The research is probably most of your time that you're going to spend on this. It's going to take you quite a bit of time. If you do really good research and take some good notes, like you see that I did here, you're going to have a much easier time actually writing the report itself. It says, for our directions on writing the report, write a multi-paragraph report using your three key questions as the three body paragraphs of your essay. Your introduction paragraph should start with 1 to 3 sentences of background. Hey, I'm going to go for 3 because I want an A+. Include a strong thesis statement that generalizes all 3 of your points. So you guys should know what a thesis is. Our thesis has to somehow, those 3 things that I researched have to all fit into that thesis statement. And then we have to end that introduction paragraph with a sentence that kind of lays out the plan for the research paper. And it tells you what to do with your conclusion paragraph. It reminds you to use transition words. You have to type your report, and we're going to be graded on content and presentation, which means that the information we're giving in the report needs to be real rich and coming up with some great stuff, but we also need to make sure that we're writing well, that we're following the directions that we see right here, and it says to avoid being repetitive. We don't want to be redundant and talk about the same things. And really, from looking at our notes here, it doesn't look like we're being very repetitive as long as we stick to these notes. Now keep in mind that each one of these sentences, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or each one of these points is going to be a separate sentence. All right, so let's go ahead and try to get started on this. I'm not going to take the time to write the whole report with you right now, but we're going to start off with our number dash name. Let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see it for sure. You guys should use a 12 font and don't use any of that triple space action, double space action, all that kind of silly stuff. Okay, because it's real easy for me to pick up on. Now I'm going to title it Iowa Report. I'm going to put the date. We got to underline that. I'm going to put the date, which is, I'm going to write it the full date out since it's a report. I'm going to put January 1st, 2019. How's that? Okay. That way we're kind of catapulting into the future maybe a little bit there. And I'm going to start by indenting. I'm hitting the tab key right there first, which is really not the best way to do that, but for our purposes, that's okay for you guys to go ahead and use that tab key. And then I'm going to start off with some background information. I'm going to use some of this stuff that I looked up that has nothing to do with my key questions, but this talks about Iowa. I think the most basic thing about Iowa is, where is Iowa? So I'm going to say Iowa is located in the center, of the, I'm not going to use abbreviations in my report. United States, just below, I'm going to change that, just south of Minnesota. It boasts great natural beauty, but not many high mountains. Okay, let's go for one more here. Iowa has about 3 million residents. Better than saying people living in the state. 3 million residents. Now, I don't start a new paragraph. That's all my background information. That's the blue. Now I go on to give my thesis statement. How am I going to talk about famous people, interesting place to visit, and an interesting place to live, all in a thesis statement? I'm going to say, let me think before I write. Always think of what you're going to say before you write it. How about Iowa is a very fascinating state, or something like that. See, Iowa is a fascinating state to... I don't want to really talk about myself in here. I'm going to maybe come back and come up with better ideas later. Just come up with a basic idea right now. Is a very fascinating state. Okay, there's my thesis statement. This is obvious because of the I don't want to name all. This is let's see. This is obvious for a few different reasons. Okay, that gives my plan right there. This is obvious for a few different reasons. Now, nobody should have that exact thing like that in their essay. I'm going to end that paragraph. That's my introduction paragraph. Indenting. I'm going to talk about famous people first. This famous people right here, that's my topic sentence. I don't want to get into any of these famous people before I make a topic sentence for that paragraph. So I've got to think first, again, what could I say that introduces the idea of Iowa and famous people. Iowa has been home to many famous famous people. Okay, I used residents before. I'm going to try to use different words. Famous people. Okay, so there's my topic sentence. Notice I didn't name any of them. Now let's make sure we get some transition words in here. First, Johnny Carson, and you know what? We're probably going to be using a lot of appositives when we write this kind of stuff. And let's see, Johnny Carson. Oh, I skipped John Wayne. They're both John. Okay, first, John Wayne, an American actor, with commas around it, right? An American actor from Winterset, Iowa, was... Oh, I'm going to say he was born. Let's see. Always changing my mind. Actor was born in Winterset. I don't need to say Iowa because I've already said that. In 1907. Was born in Winterset in 1907. Okay. Then I go on and I write a sentence about Johnny Carson. I write a sentence about Herbert Hoover. And that is my second paragraph. Okay, then I'm going to write a next paragraph, a third paragraph. I'm going to make a topic sentence that says that there's interesting places to visit in Iowa. And then I'm going to make a sentence about each one of these interesting reasons. I'm going to say interesting reasons that there are to visit it, because cross-country skiing is not an interesting place. And then I'm going to say for my next paragraph, there are good reasons why someone would want to live in the state of Iowa. And then each sentence is going to be one of these three after that. So that's like 4 sentences per paragraph. And then I need to come down and make a conclusion paragraph. So I'm going to say this is my third paragraph here. Then I'm going to have my fourth paragraph there. I'm not going to be writing that right now. But then I'm going to have my conclusion paragraph last. Okay? I'm going to repeat my thesis statement. I'm going to try to use some synonyms and maybe add some words in here. As you can see, Iowa... Oh, my computer's stalling on me there. Iowa is... Now, I don't want to say fascinating here again. Iowa is such an amazing state, okay? And there are interesting. I'm going to use a thesaurus later on, try to change that word. Interesting people and places. Interesting people, places, and activities in this Midwestern state. I'm sure you will want to visit Iowa as soon as you have a chance. All right. So notice I've got 3 sentences in my conclusion paragraph. I've got a repeat of the thesis statement basically there. I'm kind of repeating my points without actually saying them, my 3 points in my body. And I'm calling my reader to action. I'm telling them that they might want to visit there. Hopefully you can come up with some other ideas so you're not just copying the way I do this, but that should make it pretty clear how you go through the whole process of writing your report. Now obviously I am not satisfied with my report yet. Even if I had these other paragraphs written, I want to go grab a thesaurus. I want to check my spelling. I want to show this to someone else and have them peer review it for me, proofread it for me. I want to go over and over this until I'm sure that it's the best work that I possibly can do. Make sure you're showing it to somebody else. Make sure that you're super picky on your own work and that you can be proud of it when you go to turn it in. So that's it. Thanks for watching.